sovereign citizen do? What's happening, guys? You suck. I'm a sovereign citizen from Israel. I know all about the gold fringe and how fraudulent it is.
They hit me with a really strong dose of OC spray.
I want to speak to you dead soldiers now! I know the laws, buddy, and I'm waiting for you to do something wrong so I can sue your department.
I pay for that uniform, I pay for that car, I'm the taxpayer, right?
Hi folks. As always, let me begin by thanking my newest channel members. Your support drives me to scour the depths of the internet to find the stupidest of the stupid. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description box. I have a fun one for you today. Let's get right into it because I don't want this to get too long. There's a lot of stupid swirling around this story. Today's idiot is Mac Parhar, also known as Flat Earth Fokker. He got arrested in Canada after refusing to quarantine the mandatory 14 days following a trip to the US. If you've followed my channel for long enough, you'll remember that I debated him once on the topic of Flat Earth. Let's take a peek at that and you'll get a feel for how deep his delusions run. Pay particular attention to the facial expressions of the two moderators at the bottom of the screen.
Among other things, he's not only a flat earther, he's an anti-vaxxer and a sovereign citizen. I've made a wildly truncated list of the things that he has asserted. Where do I begin? No radiation comes from the sun. The Earth spins, in our model, the Earth spins 50 times faster than a speeding bullet. 9/11, Sandy Hook, Pulse nightclub, and AIDS are all fake. The O.J. Simpson trial was fake, and Nicole Brown Simpson is Megyn Kelly. They, in quotes, eat babies. The Holocaust is fake. Airplanes don't use jet fuel. Craig and I are trained by the CIA. He thinks that they broke into his house, took the T off of his Skechers, not just his, but everyone's. Changed the spelling of the words independence, cemetery, and other words. Not after the fact, but retroactively. They changed every book, the spelling of these words in every book, everywhere. They moved Sri Lanka. They moved his heart and his kidneys, not just his, but everyone's. Most celebrities are trannies. Chemtrails are a thing. My goal is not to convert Flat Earth Fokker. It's to show that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And that's fine. You are correct in everything, pretty much everything you said there. Sandy Hook is fake. The Holocaust didn't happen the way it happened. There nobody died at the Orlando Pulse shooting. Vaccinations are poison, and we don't live on a spinning space ball. And for me, I'm Mandela affected. So Mandela effect is real for me. So there's nothing to debate there. I congratulate you for summing up my channel and watching all of my videos. Thank you very much for that.
I think you'll agree that he isn't the most stable guy. As of the time that I'm recording this, he sits in a jail cell. This is why.
On the plane, they give you a form that you got to fill out. Now you got to quarantine. They call it quarantine. It's not really quarantine. It's self-imprisonment, right?
Keep in mind that as he's giving this speech on camera with media in attendance, he's supposed to be in quarantine. But instead, this rocket scientist confesses in public and on camera.
And I said, I'm not filling out this form. First of all, it doesn't apply to me. I'm not a traveler. Because if you look at what the traveler is defined as, it's a person. And you were talking about laws and that, right? A person is a fictitious entity. A person is not a living, breathing man or woman. So I said that to him, and I gave the form to the border guard. She was rattled. She couldn't believe that I didn't fill out the form, and I wasn't complying. They're not used to people that aren't obedient little sheep. So I said, I'm not filling that out. Prove it. I said, prove that your stupid quarantine act applies to me.
He's checking all the soft sit boxes.
I'm going to sign it. You admit I'm a man. She said, yes, you're a man. Well, what's the definition of person? Well, I don't want to get into an argument about legal definitions with you. They never do. So I signed the form. I put Mac, bracket, a man, Parhar, and on the bottom I signed it all rights reserved. I go home the next day. I live my life. because I'm not going to put myself in a prison because I'm a free man with God-given rights.
Then why did you sign the form agreeing to quarantine? If you are a real man, as you say, then have the courage and be honest to tell them that you will not quarantine.
So I get a phone call from my daughter who's home alone saying the police is here. I'm like, oh my God, the police is here. So they start talking to me on the phone. Well, you're not here. There's a ticket I'm going to leave for you here. I go ahead, leave it there. You have no jurisdiction over me. Next day, RCMP shows up. That was New West Police. Next day morning, RCMP shows up. I was at home. He acted nice. I didn't give him grief. Apparently, a family member of his died. All these people attach on to tragedy. Always, oh, my so-and-so died. You're evil. You're mean.
Oh no, such a war hero.
As you can see, the crowd is full of morons as well.
Well, I started calling him. I go, well, what's your name? Give me your first name. They won't give their first name. Why? You're a police officer. Why are you acting like a coward? And I told him that. I go, why are you acting like a coward? I asked for his name 3 times. If you ask 3 times, they don't answer. That's being dishonorable.
I need a citation for that one. I don't know much about Canadian law, but that sounds made up.
I go, what authority do you have over me? Don't be afraid of these guys. They're just men and women in costumes. Their job is supposed to be a peace officer, keep us safe. Policy enforcers. Policy enforcers. Policy doesn't apply to living man and woman.
Shortly after this, he was taken into custody, to the surprise of literally no one.
An infamous anti-mask activist has been arrested and charged with violating the Quarantine Act. Back in March, Mac Parhar caused controversy when he refused to close his Delta hot yoga studio, claiming the heat kills the COVID-19 virus. As a result, the city suspended his business license. Parhar has also been front and center at a number of anti-mask rallies. Now, after returning from a visit to the U.S., he was repeatedly apprehended by New Westminster police for not complying with the mandatory 14-day curfew. After being given a ticket and observed out of his home again, Parhar has now been arrested and charged with 3 counts of violating the Quarantine Act. He's now being held in custody.
Mr. Parhar was informed by CBSA members when he arrived into Canada of the Quarantine Act, and he was advised that he was to remain self-isolated in his home for a period of 14 days. It's clear, after posting some videos on YouTube, that he chose to violate that, where he repeatedly went out into the public, putting others at risk. We take that very seriously. It's putting the citizens of New Westminster at risk.
Now, under the Quarantine Act, the punishment for Parhar's alleged offenses is a fine of up to $750,000 or up to 6 months in jail.
As you can see, our friend is terminally stupid, and so are his friends. Let's see how the shallow end of the gene pool responded to his arrest.
Good. I'm doing okay. I'm just kind of curious. I'm kind of looking for a buddy of mine. I'm just wondering if he's allowed any visitors, or I'm just kind of making sure that he's actually still alive. His name is Mac Parhar, P-H-A.
All right, this is the third person to call about this.
Yes.
He's been granted bail, but he's currently in a holding cell.
Because he didn't do anything illegally wrong. You know, like he's been detained under, like, we have human rights here in Canada, do we not?
There's legislation that you have to quarantine after trips abroad so that you don't inadvertently kill your fellow countrymen. So yes, he did do something wrong. Infecting others is not a human right.
There could be a lawsuit against the law here in British Columbia. Like, I would be refraining from taking powers over the people here in BC.
Good luck with that. And why are you in a shipping container? Is that your house?
Why is he there in the first place? He has every right to walk and breathe fresh air in this province of British Columbia. And why is he not allowed to do that?
I can't comment any further about that. I can only let you know what's happened so far.
Do you know the laws of this province? Do you know the laws?
No, I do not, because
exactly.
we are not legally trained.
Because your IQ is 33. Your IQ is 33. Thanks.
Super nice guy. Am I right? It gets worse.
Max should just get up and walk out of there.
I'm pretty sure that's not an option.
We need to fight for Mac now. I'll be the first one in line if we ever go to war, all right? Me. I'll be at first in line. I will roll right through them like a frickin' train, baby. Locomotive at 4,000 miles an hour going down that track.
It looks like Canada has some real nut jobs. If you are Canadian, you don't need to tell us that you're sorry, because we in the US have more than our fair share too. But to everybody in every country, if you like this video and you want to see more stupid in the future, please like and subscribe.